All right, first things first, we're going to do our warm up. Everybody should already have their calculator. Should have already started if you wasn't goofing off like some of us were when we came in. After which, I'm going to go over parts of the homework. I'm going to model. Today, we have elimination and then mixed review because that's what your quiz is going to be on. We're going to do a mixed review. That's the sheet that I gave you when you walked in. We're doing the mixed review, and the problems we're going to do are even. Your homework for tonight, you got your packet. And if you don't finish the classwork, you need to finish the classwork. You are going to submit the mixed review sheet. You're going to submit that tomorrow. This you will submit. We are going to, tomorrow, we're going to submit our work. That's the warm up, the homework, and the mixed review problems that we're doing today. Then you're going to have your quiz. Your quiz is going to be on graphing method, substitution method, and elimination method. Okay? That's what your quiz is on. Solving systems. You didn't get to do word problems this week like intended. I wanted to get the word problems in, but that's okay. We just didn't make it that far, and that's fine. We'll do word problems with systems next week. So this is systems review. Okay. If you're missing anything, then you can work on makeup work for homework. I'm gonna pause for the pause, and we'll write in our plan. Okay, let's write in our planner. This is Thursday the 28th. Math 1, we have our homework. Finish classwork. If we do not finish the classwork in class, and we need to review, well, part of reviewing that is in the classwork today. So the other thing is just to make sure you go over your notes. Make sure you fully understand systems. Yesterday, if you did these things, if you did your homework, please check it off. The day before, if you didn't check it off, the homework, check it off. If you haven't started already, you can add that to your list. Some people, do a little bit at a time. Okay. Question. Okay. All right. So let's look at the warm up. All right. So this first warm up question is rate of change. It's find the average rate of change. So anytime you're finding the rate of change, you use the rate of change formula: y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Any questions about the rate of change formula? And they give you two intervals. Notice how it's in brackets. That's not an ordered pair. So they want you to find the rate of change between 3 and 6. So find 3 on the x, rate of change from 3, write that ordered pair down, and then 6, this ordered pair. So those are your two ordered pairs from 3 to 6. They want to find this rate of change here from 3 to 6. So your ordered pair, let me space this out a little bit better. Your ordered pair for 3 is going to be 3, comma what? 23. Good. That's your first point. And your second point is going to be 6, comma what? 27. Any questions about how to read this? This is talking about my x values. This is in a parentheses. So you go to the table to figure out what the 2 points are. I mean the graph. Sometimes they'll give you a table. So now we're going to label. This is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. So now we're going to find the slope or the rate of change. What are we going to put on the top? What minus what? 27 minus what did you say? 23. Good job. And then what are we going to put on the bottom?
6 minus 3.
6 minus 3. So now on the top, what does that give us?
4 on 3.
4 on the top. You're fine. 4 on the top and 1 on the bottom. 3. So this is our reduced fraction, or we could write it as a decimal. What's the decimal?
1.3 repeating.
1.3 repeating. Okay. Any questions? All right, let's look at the second one. Anybody still writing before I move on to the second one? Okay, I'll pause, baby. All right, let's do the second one. All right, first thing you look for is GCF. I always look for GCF first. Is there a GCF for all 3 terms?
Yes.
What is it?
2.
So 2 or 2x?
2.
2. Okay. They all have a 2 in common as a factor. So when we factor out 2, what does that give us here?
X squared.
X squared.
Plus 2x.
Plus
2x.
2x. You're right. And then what's the last?
Minus 15.
Very good. Okay. All right, so now we got to continue to factor so that we can find solutions. So how do we factor what's in the parentheses?
Make a T-chart.
Okay, we make a T-chart. What do we put in the first column of our T-chart? Negative 15. The second?
2.
Positive 2. All right, so what combinations did we come up with? Say it a little bit louder. I think I heard it. I heard 5 and 2. Which one is going to be negative? Which? Negative 5 and positive 2. Does that work?
No. Negative
3. Very good, Cooper. So that's going to be negative 3. Very good, Cooper. So this is 4 plus a negative 3. And you're right. That gives you 2. Good job. All right. Make sure this is multiplication here. And this is a negative. So keep bringing in the 2. We got 2 parentheses. What do we put in each parenthesis? We put x. And what about the first one?
x minus 3.
Okay, yeah, we're saying the same thing essentially. If I say plus, which number is that?
5.
5. If I say minus, which number is that?
3.
3. Now what do I do to solve?
Set them both to 0.
Set all of your factors equal to 0, even the 2. So we got 2 is equal to 0. Is that true?
No.
No, you don't need that value. Then we got x plus 5 is equal to 0, and we got x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, how do I solve for x here?
Use the
Minus 5, and that gives you x is equal to what number?
Negative 5.
Very good. Okay, so far the ordered pair, one of the ordered pairs is negative 5, comma what? 0. So, and then this is a bracket, so one of the answers is negative 5. Comma, let's list the other answer. What do we get right here?
3.
We get what kind of 3?
Positive 3.
Because we add 3 on both sides, x is equal to a positive 3. What's the ordered pair?
3, 0.
3, comma 0. And your solutions are negative 5 and what? 3. That's where the parabola crosses the x-axis. What is the distance in units between the y-intercept of, what's the y-intercept here? What's the y-intercept of this equation? Where does it cross the y-axis?
18.
18. This is my C. That's where it crosses the y-axis. Distance means that we're going to find, how much space it is from one to the other, okay? So we're going to subtract. So we got 18. How would we find the y-intercept here? It's a couple things. Is it linear? Is it quadratic? Is it exponential?
Quadratic.
That's it. It's linear.
It's linear. It's linear. So how do I write the equation for this linear function? It's a couple things that I could do. What could I do? I could type it in my calculator. Where would I go? Stat, edit, and type those numbers in. Now where do I go after I type them in? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. Stat. And then what? Calc. And then lean red. And then from there you press enter and it'll give you the y-intercept. Take the y-intercept and subtract them from each other. 18 minus whatever, okay? Any questions? All right. Anybody lost? Everybody okay? Oh, let me, yes, Kate.
Can you go back?
Type in the equation.
Yeah.
You just press that, edit. That's where you type them in. Did you type them?
I was getting so it's
Then what do you do after that? After you type them in, what button do you press?
that.
You press that, and then what?
Calc.
And then what?
Lean red.
That's it. That's it. All right. Okay, let's look at the homework. I forgot that's it. I was going to look at that. Let's look at this one, number 10. All right. Anybody not ready? Make sure you put your phone away. The number of bacteria in the culture has been modeled by this function right here. What type of function is this?
Quadratic.
How do you know it's quadratic?
So there's x squared.
Because there's an x squared. The highest degree has an x squared term. So I'm going to write that out to the side. All right. Okay, so where T is the temperature, okay, in Celsius, the culture is kept. It says the scientist wants fewer than 200 bacteria in the culture in order to test the medicine effectively. What is the approximate domain? Okay, so which of these X values make sense so that the bacteria or your Y is under 200? So we're going to type this in the calculator and see where your where your X values, when is Y under 200? Okay. All right. So where do I go in my calculator? Second plus 712. Where do I go in my calculator to type an equation? Y equals. Please do this with me because I'm not going to give you the answer, but I'm going to show you how to get it. Okay. So go to Y equals and let's type this in. Where's your calc? Type in. All right, so now we're going to go. Notice how these x values, when you look at these x values, they don't turn out to be whole numbers. So even if we go to the table, I'm not going to see 1.01 or 2.03. I'm not going to see those. So I need to manually type in my x values, okay? All right, so in order to manually type in these x values, because domain, how do you know they're x values, Miss Reyes? Because it says domain. So to manually type in my x values, did anybody know what keystrokes you press? Does anybody remember that?
Second window.
Second window. And then from there, what?
Independent.
Independent X. Very good. And so now from here, after you do that, you go to your table. How do you go to the table? Second graph. So now you're going to type in the x value. This is a negative 1.01 and press enter. Is that less than 200?
No.
So A is not my answer. So now let's type in 0.90 and press enter. Is that under 200?
Yep.
Type it in, honey.
Yes.
Yeah, it is, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
You said yours is not? 28 squared. Yeah, we typed it in right. Yep, that's right. So, say again. Does yours look different from ours? Let me see. Can I see your calc, please? Let's compare and see what we got. Yours is like that. It looks the same, don't it? 28.
Yeah, I went to the table and I was typing it in.
It looks the same. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to press the negative. You're right. His is right, y'all. You know what I typed in? A positive. Thank you. It's supposed to be negative. It looks like a positive, and I couldn't even see the little thing. So sorry, y'all. It's negative. All right, so when you type in negative, then he's right. No, it is not under 200. So mark it out. All right, let's type in the next one. This is a negative. Let me make this darker. A negative 0.86. All right, what about that one?
No.
No, it's not. And this one is a negative also, okay? A negative 0.77. What about that one?
Yes.
Yes, it does. So the answer here is going to be D. Any questions about that? Okay. All right, let's look at this one. They're asking for which equation has one real solution. That means only one solution. That means it only crosses the x-axis in one place. Okay? Now you could graph this, you can graph them and see, but this more than likely, unfortunately, is going to be on the calculated inactive part. So you have to factor these. So let's factor the first one. I'm going to use this space here. We got 4x squared minus 12x minus 9. The first thing you look for is GCF. Is there a greatest common factor for all three numbers? No. Okay. So now we got to factor this. So you multiply. I don't know if you remember this. You multiply the first and the last together so you can do your little T-chart. What's the first times the last?
Negative 36.
Negative 36. Good job. The middle number is what?
Negative 12.
So we have to think of what two numbers can be multiplied to give me a 36. Okay. But when I add them, I get a negative 12. Think of your different combinations of numbers. Break down 36. What two numbers? 6 and 6. Break down 6 and 6 to what? 3 and 2. Okay. So now we got different combinations. We got, somebody said 9. These are 9. And then these are left. That's 9 and 4. Okay. Does that work? Because one has to be negative and one has to be positive, right? So that doesn't work. All right. Let's think of another one. What about 2 times? What's the rest of it? This is 2. This is 9. What's 9 times 2?
18.
So 18. Does that even work? Okay. So let's think of another one. What about 3? 3 times the rest of it. What'd you say?
It would be 3 times.
3 times 12. Does that work? No.
That's why I was.
Okay, so can you factor this one? No, you can't factor this one. So this would actually be calculated active here. That's good. All right. So let's type this first one in. Just because it doesn't factor doesn't mean it doesn't cross. It could, but it doesn't mean that. So let's type in 4x to the second minus 12x minus the 9. Okay. Now let's graph it and see if it crosses. It crosses in 2 places. Do you see that? It just doesn't cross on a whole number. So this has 2 solutions here. This is 2 solutions. Okay, so no, because we only want 1 solution. It only needs to cross in 1 place. This crosses in 2. Any questions about this one? Let's type in the second one. Okay, where does that, how many places does that cross? It crosses in 1 place. So this is the one that has 1 solution. Any questions about that? Okay. All right, let's look at this one. This one was a tough one. It says the sum of 2 numbers is 24. Does it tell me what the 2 numbers are? So you give them both variables, x plus y. They have unknowns. I don't know what either one of them is, but they equal to 24. Any questions about this first sentence? The second sentence is the sum of the squares of the 2 numbers. That means you're squaring them both. X squared plus y squared, and it's equal to what?
306.
306. Okay. Now it's asking what's the product of the 2 numbers. So you have to solve to see what x and y is, and then after you find x and y, you multiply them together. Okay, so this is a system, so let's solve the system. First thing is to get x or y by itself. It's easier to get this one by itself first. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get y by itself by just subtracting x on both sides. So now I have y is equal to negative x plus 24. Now I'm going to substitute this in the place of y. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite. And I'm going to put this in the place of y. All right, so now when I do this, that means I have to multiply these times itself out to the side. How do I multiply 2 binomials together? Anybody know? Full. Okay. First, outer, inner, last. What's the first?
X.
Go get some water. Go get some water. Splash on your face or do something. I don't know. Negative x times negative x is going to be x squared. Outer, what's this going to be?
Negative 24.
Inner.
What?
Oh, forgot the x. And what's the last?
Negative
24. I don't even know. I forgot.
776.
Yeah. We've done that plenty of times. I don't know what. I guess I had a brain fart. All right. Add these together. And what does that give you?
negative 48.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's what goes. That's what goes up here.
You wrote x squared twice.
No, x squared is already there.
Negative 576.
Say again. Say it louder so I can hear you, baby.
It's a negative 576.
This is plus. Thank you. And what'd you say? I didn't hear you.
You wrote x squared plus x squared.
Yeah, the x squared is already there. Just bring it down. Do you see it?
Oh, and negative.
This
Oh,
came from here. That's this one. And this, you just bring it down. All right, so now combine the like terms. So that's where you're going to combine these two together. And that gives you the 2x squared minus 48x plus 567. And you're going to move this over here. This is a long problem. And what does this give me here? This is 0, 7, 2.
What?
it's positive.
Thank you. All right. So now you have to factor, well, yeah, you could do GCF first. You have to factor this, so that means you do GCF first. I'm going to use this face too. Okay. GCF will be take out the 2.
48.
I don't want to squeeze that anyway. That's going to be sloppy. There we go. Divide, what does that give you? 24. Divide, what does that give you for this one? 270 divided by 2. 135. All right, so now you have to factor this. Get x here, x here. Do your little T-chart. You get positive 135 and negative 24. And I'm going to let you finish the rest of this on your own because I ain't going to have time. Yes.
What I did is I just plugged in like.
I know, but it's sometimes this is not going to, I want to do it this way because it's not always going to be multiple choice. And then if it's not, you're pretty much screwed. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, some of them are going to be fill in, and you're going to be upset. All right, let's look at this. I want you to do all of the even here. Look at the even to see which ones you need me to do. Look at all the even and see which ones you need me to do. Circle the even ones. Whichever one looks like it's too complicated for you to do, Please ask me for those. We're doing all the even. Mm, do you have room in your notebook to do that?
Yeah.
Let me see. Do I have room in mine? You're going to submit this for a grade, so you can put it in your notebook. Just don't number it as a page number. This is going to be a grade, so you can put it in here, but just don't put a page number on it because it's a grade. It's not in the notebook. Does anybody need white paper for this?
Graphing for it, I'm fine with
Guys, we're not talking. We're working really hard. Sorry.
I'm fine.
You okay?
I don't have patience.
Just a few rows. Hurry up. You need help?
I think I might actually need help. I don't
Okay, I'm gonna do this one so that you can do this one, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
The first one? Okay. You didn't get one? Come pick up one. I'll do it. So can you take it out of this right here? All right, so for those of you that need help with the graphing, I'm going to do the first one. You don't have to do this one unless you just need the extra practice. M is equal to, this is -5 over -5 over 6. This is my rise. This is my run. B is the number that has no variable attached, which is 2. So to graph this, I find 2 on the y-axis. Positive 2 on the y-axis is 1, 2 right here. This is where I start. Are you okay with that? Okay, all right. Tucker, what about you? All right. So now you take your rise over your run. After you graph this, take rise over run to put points on the line. So from this point, it says rise -5, so that means down 5. It says run +6, so that's to the right 6. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're out of space. In the opposite direction to put points, instead of going down 5, go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Does that make sense, babe? So now you just draw your line. Tucker, you good with that? So now we're going to draw the other line to see where they cross, okay? So my slope of the other line is 1/6. This is my rise. This is my run. My y-intercept for this one is a +8. Tuckers, are you good with that one? So you're going to find 8 on the y-axis. That's up this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we're going to go up 1 and to the right 6. So up 1 and to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the opposite direction, I'll go down 1 and to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see where they cross? Does that make sense? This is going to be the solution. So what's this ordered pair right here? This is 6 and 1, 2, 6 and 7. -6, 7. This is the solution. Are you good with that one? Okay.
Is that the page we're supposed to use?
Yeah, you're doing even. I did the odd one to show them how to do it.
Oh, I don't have.
You got it? In those notes, remember when we graphed these? That's the first method that we did. Do you want to see the notes? Yes, sir. Which one? What number is it so I know what I'm looking at? Number 2? Okay. So for number 2, you put M is equal to 2/3, right? That's rise over run. You did that correct. And you labeled your B as 1. So you find 1 on the y-axis. That's this right here. And then you go from there and you go up 2 and to the right 3. Yes, it should. Yeah, these are straight lines. So we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Opposite direction, down 1, 2, to the left 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense to you? Okay. So the second one, your M is -2/9, and your B is a +9. So +9 is up from the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is right here. So this time you go down 2 and to the right 9. Down 1, 2 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is right here where they cross. Do you see that? So what's this solution here? What's that point? Say again, baby.
9, 7.
It's 9. Very good. And up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Correct.
I went the opposite way to mine. First one was going this way.
Gotcha. All right. Anybody else? Which one, babe?
For the number 6.
Number 6. Okay. I'm gonna do this one on a separate sheet. Okay.
Okay, yeah. I don't really remember how to do the substitution and
Okay. You could choose substitution or elimination.
you can't do elimination.
You can
Oh, is it with the multiplication?
with the multiplication one. I'm gonna model the elimination one for you on this one. Okay.
Okay, because I didn't do the elimination.
You're fine. Because the substitution will be a lot of work for this one.
Yeah.
All right, so the ones that it'd be the easiest to get the same is the 7 and the 14. Because all I'd have to do was multiply 7 by 2. Does that make sense? So we're going to multiply all of this by 2. So keep this the same. And then multiply this. So that's going to give you, what's 2 times negative 8x? Negative 16x. And this one, if you're wondering, this is number 6, y'all. Negative 16x. Then what?
Negative 14.
14y. And then equals what?
Equals 32.
32. So now you have to choose if you're going to use elimination of addition or subtraction.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense? Okay. So I'll finish this for those of you that don't remember what we did yesterday. He can keep going because he's got it from here. To eliminate the 14y's, I subtract to eliminate these. So when I subtract here, I get 5x minus 16. And so that gives me, that's plus a positive. That's going to be what? 21x. Okay. Then here, this is gone. And on this side, I get negative 10 minus 32. What does that give me?
42? No. 22.
Yeah, you got, look, negative 10, you guessing, minus the 32.
Oh.
Stick with your gut, right? All right, so now in order to get x by itself, you divide both sides by what?
21.
And so this gives you an x value of what?
Negative 2.
-2. So my ordered pair, my x coordinate is going to be -2. Okay. So now we're going to take one of the equations, doesn't matter which one, and substitute -2 for x. Which one you think is easier?
First one.
The first one, me too. And this is going to be 5 times -2 plus 14y is equal to -10. So this gives me -10, right? Plus 14y is equal to -10. Okay, so what do I do now? I add. And what does that give me?
0.
0. And on this side, you also get what? 0. Okay. So when I divide by 14, I get 1y here. What's 0 over 14? Is 0. So my solution is going to be -2, comma 0. All right, so I'm going to do 18. All right, so this is y is equal to 2x minus 20. And then you got 5x plus 5y is equal to 20. This one is a good candidate for substitution, okay? The y is already by itself, so you're going to substitute this in the place of y to the other equation. So you're going to rewrite the other equation, and you're going to substitute this in the place of y. So this is 5x plus 5 times, are you okay with that so far, babe? Okay. Then 2x minus the 20. Bring down the equal and bring down the 20. You okay? So now we're going to do distributive property, right? So this is 5x. This gives me 10x, right? You okay? And then this gives me a negative what? What's 5 to 100? And you're okay? Okay. So combine like terms. What does this give me? Minus 100 is equal to what number? 20. So to get x by itself, you're going to add 20 to both. Oh, I'm sorry. 100. Okay. And then this gives me 120. Now what am I going to do to get x by itself? Divide by 15. Okay. So here we got 120 divided by 15. And that gives us what? 8. So your x value is 8. Make sense so far? So now you got to figure out your y. Which equation do you figure is going to be the easiest to use? The first one. So now I'm going to replace x with 8. So this is y is equal to 2 times 8 minus the 20. So this is going to be what here? 16 minus 20. And that's going to give me a negative what? 4. Make sense? That was number 18.